live stream. We have it all pre-set up. And we won't be able to talk about it during the first live stream, but in your packet is what you'll be looking at from that meeting with the deputy director at the state board. She's going to meet at 10:30. Katie there.
You're going to get overtime pay today then?
No, no, we're all just doing it. All right, well, we're ready, but we're not quite there.
Okay.
Tommy decided 10 o'clock is when he needed to go to the men's room, so. We'll just look over stuff and then we'll, did we hear from
Emma?
Emma?
She said she'll be here.
Okay. Could be the new Zaxby's holding her back. That traffic. Has anybody been to the new Zaxby's?
I haven't been able to get in.
I went on Sunday.
You did.
They're backed up there.
They are backed up. It is, the shake was delicious. The milkshake was delicious. The chicken,
Are they, the way people are backed up, are they giving away free stuff or something?
no. And as a matter of fact,
I think in the
Cool
app
down
you
or
get your
something?
first free, you get a thing.
oh, I
Where
didn't
you
do
Polly
that.
was telling me.
Who told you about that?
Polly. You get their app,
Yeah, I figured it must be a grand opening coupon ladder.
Yeah. you get like a free 3-piece meal or
Oh,
something. like
okay, well, I didn't do that.
That explains all the traffic.
Right.
Hey, Ralph. Hey, Ralph.
I think they're famous.
You
for
got a
their
new yellow
sauce.
truck or what?
Yeah, my new pickup,
Is yours?
my new pickup.
The shake
Yeah.
was good. Yeah. All right, Mr.
That's all, and that's about all. My wife's got one too right now.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-oh. Double it up, are you?
Oh, Mr. Newcomb has called and begged her.
You what?
Mr. Newcomb called her and had a quiet conversation. And
Okay.
she agreed to drive a bus for just a little while longer.
All right.
Yes, I see that.
We're live.
I thought you were driving her out.
We've been live,
Oh, they got another girl out
we've
now.
been live since 10 o'clock.
Hey, what now?
We're
They got
live
you.
and ready to go when you are.
We're live, ready to go.
Yeah.
Is Emma coming?
She said she was coming. We'll just.
I think she just pulled up.
All right. Well,
Ask her if Charles is home.
call a meeting to order. We have a quorum. So the first order of business is we have no guest. Approval of the minutes, and here comes Emma now.
I make a motion to minutes be approved as written.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We've got the minutes to be signed.
Charles home. Charles home.
No.
All right. Any additions to the agenda?
Yes, we're gonna add the fiscal year 2027 budget.
Budget. All right. All right. Election Director's Report.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. So just to tell you that we Turlock had a successful election on November 1st. There's a new mayor. I was gonna say a new sheriff in town. I was like,
results are.
yeah, the results are there, so you can take a peek at that. So that was nice. And it was a pretty consistent day as far as especially phone calls here. They call us in case we need to look up something on the computer, on the database and things. And I would say we were pretty busy here. I mean, I think it flowed nicely during the day, which is
Steady,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Who ended up winning?
it's in your packet.
Who's our new mayor?
It's a new mayor, yeah.
Yeah.
Murphy. Yeah. Here it is right here.
Earl
So,
Murphy.
yep, Earl Murphy won.
On the back page.
It's the second to the last page.
Mhm. You might be curious.
We got the election plan was submitted to the State Board of Elections. I believe they're gonna be, will be in the first batch that the state will present to their board at the next board meeting. And, the judge's manual is revised every, election cycle. So Jessica has started, that. We have submitted pretty much everything. I think we're just waiting on one chapter.
They're waiting on a certain image for chapter 9.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
everything else.
so we're moving right along there and getting ready. Believe it or not, the election is not that far away. Pretty much like after the holidays, we start really gearing up. So it's like you enjoy our holiday because it all sort of starts again. We've been working on our equipment. Last time I talked about where we were with the other equipment. We're starting back on the quarterly equipment charging. So that is underway. Kim's and Sloan are making a lot of headway there. You guys did your sexual harassment training at the last Mayo meeting. So we have, the staff is doing ours virtually. So I think most, if not all, I think Kim and Sloan did theirs, I've done mine, and you did hers. So you got to pick a date, which was kind of nice. So they worked with a 2-month period. So you did it virtually. We didn't have to do a group activities, which is kind of nice too, because that's harder, especially if you're doing it virtually and then they separate you into groups. I've never seen that done very successfully, where you talk about stuff. So you just talked about it in the chat or live talking about it. So that was a 2-hour session. So we're all trained up for any sexual harassment training going, and that is supposed to happen biannually. So we're good there. And then let's go to the last, we're just really going through this. 10:09.
I know, we have to go get it done.
I know, I'm like, we might as well, because I want to spend time, for any questions that you guys will have for the budget. So the very last page in here is a comparison of the fiscal year 2026 to our suggestion. Some of the stuff we talked about as it was happening in real time. Just off the cuff, I know that I told you with September, we met with the county manager and they talked about a couple of new processes that the finance department is going to add in each individual department's budget, as opposed to doing it ad hoc at the end of the fiscal year and taking it out of budget. So we were able to actually budget for a few of those costs or numbers.
So the negative number is the finance charge.
Negative number.
The first line says turnover.
Finance department created across the board for each department to account for vacancies. Yes. So this is something different. Yes. So what the finance department does, this is their policy. So, Jessica Norenbrock is an employee. So they decide, they take money out of your budget and decide if Jessica were to leave mid fiscal year,
Mid-year.
mid-year, that you actually would save money because her salary won't be paid for 6 months.
Understood.
So they decide
I'm not quite
the
sure
pre-
why they.
this is how they do it. Right, so we have to put it, we decided to budget for it. So it comes off the top of our budget
Well, basically, it's any
vacancy.
position you have authorized, they estimate so much will be,
Not
And
any,
then
I
to
think
fill
they
out.
just do like, they're just doing a number. They're just doing that 7,600.
yeah, I'm just wondering how they.
So they're not doing it per employee, they're just doing it once. Am I getting that
I
correct?
think it's just maybe over the years, they've saved this much money
They've
every year.
averaged, I
so they
think they've
divided it.
averaged it out.
Yeah, like averaged it out. I said it was the same for all the different departments.
They've averaged it out and decided that based on their stats of the time someone leaves, they had a cost saving of almost $8,000.
Yeah, my only suggestion
Yeah,
is that that's assuming that we're gonna have vacancies, right?
that it assumes, it's a lot of assumptions going on there.
So
Yes.
basically, it's we make a budget hit in advance,
Yeah.
which is kind of
It's,
odd.
it's a new, that's why I was glad they shared with me, us, what they're doing, because it's a different way to find, it's a different financial budgeting process. I haven't seen it
I
before.
understand the reasoning. I just think that every department gets a hit then regardless of vacancies. or
It
not.
might be a roundabout way to do a cost savings and hit every department
Oh.
exactly the same.
Just for example, because we know that there's been lots of changes in finance.
Lot,
And a
exactly.
lot of people probably have the added up number of absent or vacant days.
Right, so that could affect the average, yes, one department with, six vacancies in one fiscal year could really bring that number. You're absolutely right. But
Okay,
honestly, 8,000
okay.
is not that's not the word, that number's pretty palpable,
Yeah,
I think. I mean, I'm like, 8 grand, okay,
No, I'm
it could be way
thinking
worse.
that they
I just think it's a generalized cost saving.
balance their own budget on the backs of the department.
And I think that's what was happening. They were
Okay.
doing it at the end of the fiscal year, and now they're telling you ahead of time, like, hey, this is what we do,
Yeah,
deal with it early. I'd rather know now than
oh, yeah. that's
at
true.
the end, like,
They'd
oh,
say,
well,
we don't
you're
have,
in a
we
deficit.
don't have enough money to pay you now.
Exactly, well, yeah,
I have a question to ask.
Sure.
Is the finance department settling down? They've had mass turmoil in that department.
I think they are. We had that quarterly meeting, like I said, in September, and they seem to be doing, coming up with some strategies like this, like we're seeing here. They're streamlining their processes. They're starting quarterly meetings so they don't get into some of their, deal with some of their issues in retrospect. So
It's
I
getting
think they're
better for
trying to
you.
get ahead of things, and the
getting-
communication has been good. We're getting emails and communication in a timely manner instead of after the fact. Like, instead of
Very good.
things happening and we're like, why did you do this? Why
They
did
were
you-"
in total confusion, total turmoil.
Yeah.
I
People
think-
were leaving, people were retiring.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what they were doing.
Yes, it was a lot. They had 3 retirements back to back that really hit them hard because,
Mhm.
and I will say, I feel like those employees kept things close to the breast, the information and documentation and how they were doing things. It wasn't always in a database. I have nothing against, I'm not an ageist. But a lot of us like to do things by hand, me included. So when you have it in a database and it's there, you can log in and see it, I can see it. But if you're doing it by hand with a filing system, you really are the only one that knows what the heck you did. So I think they're really doing and also I think another big hit that happened to the county was that, the ransomware that happened less than 5 years ago, 2020.
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID. So that was a big hit. And then then all of that happened kind of simultaneously. And that was a big hit to any city, but especially that finance department. So I think they're coming out the other end. I think they're seeing the light. I'm
Well-
seeing a difference. I think Jessica is as well. So like, good question. Okay, good question.
This department was not the only one having trouble with
Oh,
this.
sure.
That's why I asked the question.
No, it's good. It's good because, they had some growth, they had some learning curves and some growing pains, and it took them a while to figure out what employees were going to stay. Yeah, because they had turnover, excuse me, on top of that turnover.
Good.
Because some people couldn't handle, well, it was a lot. It's a lot to take on, and without proper instruction, and there was nobody to instruct. There was nobody to give anybody the lay of the land. And I know that they also got someone in there who was really, so it was a very paper-driven system, as I stated. But then they had a young lady come in there to run the department, and she was against the paper system. So I believe they got rid of a lot of their paper. So I don't know how you do a paper trail without the paper. And that ransomware happened, if that coincided. So I was very confused. I sort of stepped back and 5 years later, and three county managers later. It's at least two, but I think it's three.
Backends when.
I think it's three county managers, later. You're absolutely right. 3 county managers in 5 years. At least three finance
But it's settling down.
directors later. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you've seen a lot, and you seeing stuff in the planning department, you really get kind of both sides to really see some things. So be continued. I think things are going well. Okay.
Well, you girls are better off out here.
The second thing, the judges' pay, went up a little bit. Well, we had the numbers went up because of the average and what we had to do with the amount. And I think the state streamlined the pay across,
Minimum pay.
the minimum pay across the board in the state of Maryland. And then they did come out with a streamline. I keep using that word a lot. They,
Most important.
that $100 bonus, they made it into law and defined it better. Because before it was sort of open-ended, like if you worked in 1950, and you came back as a judge, you would get $100. So now they put it into law that it was within a certain time period you could work, because it did certainly affected us a little bit, but as you can imagine, a Baltimore City or a PG or Montgomery County, you're talking $1 million, literally.
Well, and the training fee too, because
There was-
initially the training fee had to be paid whether they worked as a judge on election day or not. So we were paying people for training, but then they weren't
Yeah.
showing up to work.
Yep.
That they've made that change now where if they don't work, they don't get the.
Yes, if you don't work, you don't get your training.
Hopefully
We
that
did
number
that
will go
back in the
down,
day,
but-
so now that's come back around, which is nice too. Because some people were just coming to the training and
Sure.
then you never talk to them again. It's
Hey,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
right.
yeah. Okay, so the cell phones through the state, we moved that line item to 5221. So there was a decrease in that line. And we got the money out, the state county, Dorchester County finally took off the phones that are in the room where we're not in anymore.
Okay.
So we were paying for those for almost
Since we,
2.5 years,
Yeah.
2 years.
I think July of this year
Like
was the
two-
last payment.
Yeah, we paid that for 2 years. I mean, it came out of our budget. We weren't even physically there. You know how phones add up.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, that needs to come. Number 4, Adobe cost of living. Adobe went up, and that's a computer
Yeah.
program that you can open and look at, view stuff. Number 5, fiscal year 2020 was requested in fiscal 26, but council approved the lower. And that is for the rental of land. That's for what we do for our polling places in a year. So so we rent the firehouses, we give a nominal fee. I think it's up to $350. So way back when I started, not way back, I'm sure it was maybe even free, but back when I started, it was $150. So we upped that cost because, they could rent it out for a wedding. It's whatever. We wanted it to be fair.
You pay a rental.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because we are using the water, the electricity, the fridge, they have to empty the trash bins, there is a cost. And sometimes if we need to, we will pay an extra cost if need be, because we understand that depending on the size of the polling place, we might have 20 judges there, in addition to, people come with trash and things, and just the Joe public might come in if there's, it's how it is. So it's not, it's a service, and we did up that a few years ago. Whatever around equipment, postage is always a lot of money. The permit fees went up a little bit, but we send out a lot of postage around election time. And I believe the state now is no longer going to send out the application. So if you recall, during COVID, you all got a ballot. That was way back in the day. In the 2020 election, the state paid, I'm sure it came out of our budget, but now, since then, you always get an application in the mail, comes, the state is no longer going to do that. So now you need to call if you want to get an absentee ballot. You have to call and we'll mail you, or you can come in, which is fine too. But again, we will probably see more of a cost come directly. I'm not saying we weren't paying for it through the state, but the cost will come out of this line item from us directly. It won't come with a reimbursement through the state. So I do see that happening more, because you're not going to get that piece of paper in the mail. We'll have to mail that, and we'll mail the ballot. So it's going to be a little, it is what it is. And as you know, the cost of stamp, everything's gone up. That's why you always buy those forever stamps, right?
Yeah.
Thank God they invented that. But the postage is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, insurance for election. Oh, mileage conference. We did take out a big chunk of the conference. We pretty much, the only thing on there, and it still is expensive, because a lot of board members, a lot of staff go to the Mayo conference. So that's the chunk that's in there now. We took out any of the extraneous, or I go, or may go, all those costs. We took that out just for some cost savings to the county. We're happy if this board decides to start that up again. You just let me know where you want us to put our learning into. We're fine with not doing it. We're fine with doing it. I just want you to know we're open to it. But for now, we put the cost savings to the county to try to, I know they needed to find some chunks of money for the Board of Ed.
Do you have a training requirement?
We do not, just makeup. I mean, Mayo, M-A-E-O, the one that you guys go to, yes, we have it, and it's in law. There is a training requirement, and again, you got that sexual harassment training. There's certain things that you need to check off the boxes and get done.
But you don't have like
I don't have
100 hours a year.
no
Okay.
extraneous, no things. But again, we're always we're always open. The staff is always open to learning, education. I have a master's degree. I'm a firm believer that you're never too old to learn, and especially with technology. Technology is something that changes very rapidly. But we wanted to, you disagree? Too old to learn? Oh, that one is, gotcha. So again, I just wanted you to know that that's gone down from other years.
It's just
So-
ageism.
And the last one was the finance created across the board, each department, certain costs. So they did that 1,300 there. That was another thing that we met in that quarterly meeting. So
Time is 10.
times 1026. So what we're gonna do is, we're not gonna vote it, we're gonna come back to this. Because I want you to be able to ask questions on this. I just want to go over it now. You guys are gonna meet, Sloan's gonna get you set up. You're gonna meet with the deputy director, deputy assistant, deputy
Administrator.
that's the word. The deputy administrator, Katie Berry, and it is the stapled piece of paper.
I know.
That's what you're gonna do.
You need a vote to go into closed.
Oh, yes, yeah, you need to close the session, Tommy, and vote to go into a closed session.
Entertain a motion to close.
I'll
go
make
to
a motion
close.
closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're in a closed session.
Nice.
Yes, Miss Emma, you're gonna take the,